just going to show a couple things that I know about how encounters work with Phantasy Star 4. So just to start off, I'm going to encounter a fight at frame 1058-ish. Keep a look at the counter there as I advance. What seems to happen, as you can see, I got into a fight. Here I go. No matter what I do, if I load again, get to that same point, and I hit an encounter. Now you might be thinking it's related to position, but it's not the case. If I go to the left, I also hit an encounter at the same frame. If I go, obviously, right and up. Okay, so that time I didn't. And you're thinking, well, why didn't he that time? Well, it has to do with which buttons, inputs you're using. So as long as I'm holding a direction and like continue holding a direction, I will encounter the fight. But if I let go briefly, so I'm going to advance the frames a couple times until my characters are idle. So I've been idle for 2 frames, and now I'm going to go ahead and start moving. And you can see I didn't have that fight now. And so what seems to be happening is if you are idle on a tile, then you will change the seed of which you'll get a fight. Now, some interesting things that you can do is the buttons I push, it doesn't matter which buttons I push, it matters that I'm pushing a button. And what else is interesting is that depending on what buttons I'm pushing, I get a different fight. So let's just do like the initial example. I'm going to hold the up and advance frames. And I'll get a 2 Zoran built fight. Okay? But now I'm actually going to hold, I'm going to not push anything for the first 2 frames. Now the reason this isn't triggering a new fight for a non-fight is that the inputs only matter on tiles that you can rest on. I won't go into that just yet, but I've idled for 2 frames, and now I'm going to go ahead and continue pushing up. And you'll see here I have a Xanafalg and a Zoran build. Okay? And if I go back, hold up, advance frames, look at the Zoran build, the 2 Zoran build fight. And if I go ahead and idle for 2 frames and then push up, I'll get the Xanafalg and Zoran build. And that'll work for all the other inputs as well. And the fights by default are different. So this is a 3 Xanafalg fight. If I do it again, it's 3. But if I idle 2 frames and then go over, I guess it might be the same table. 1, 2, 3, try 3. So that's a 2 Zoran build. So 1, 2 Zoran build. So you can kind of see what's happening there. Now, okay, so what's the point? There really isn't one. As far as this being useful for a speed run, it really isn't. Because you can't know how many tiles it's going to be till you encounter a fight. It may help in fighting stuff. Like, you may not be able to reduce fights, but you may be able to increase fights. Because you can't know how many tiles it's going to be until you hit a fight. But if you stop on a tile and continue, you kind of reset the chances for having a fight. Well, not the chances. What you do is you change how far you have to go to hit a fight, which may mean that the next tile you step on is a fight. So, does stutter stepping help? It's hard to say one way or the other. It's something you can experiment with and see. But that's kind of what I found out so far. Thanks.